Yeah, he's overpowering. The shots are there for him. He has just missed some very easy ones tonight. But as this game goes along, you're hoping that he's at home and he's going to shoot a higher percentage.
Still 10 on the shot clock for the Jazz, who are leading by 5. Here is Howard Eisley with a runner a la Mark Jackson, and hits. Eisley still in the game after Stockton. And there is Shaquille O'Neal, who's fouled, as several Jazz bouncing off of him. What strength and speed.
First of all, it's a great pass. The defender gambled and almost got it. Now watch Chris Morris hit him right in the back.
I don't even think he felt it.
Yeah, well, you know what happened? He semi-tripped.
And the line drive free throw is missed, and Morris getting the rebound. But it's interesting that Howard Eisley has really been the key man running the show for the Utah Jazz. John Stockton knocked to the floor early on 3 occasions, has been on the bench a long time, and a very pretty reverse layup by Shandon Anderson.
Now, Shandon Anderson is doing a great job backing up Jeff Hornacek, and he's also the leading rebounder at 7.5 a game.
Eddie Jones misses from the perimeter, and a loose ball foul called against the Jazz, and that will be against Antoine Carr, his first. So that off-guard position, so critical for the Utah Jazz, UB.
Now coming in, Hornacek struggling, only shooting 20%. Now remember, he's your second leading scorer, but he's only taking 5 a game. Anderson is coming in with playing half the game, giving you 50% shooting, 9 points and 7 rebounds. And he's leading in offensive rebounding with 4 a game. You have to pay attention to him. He's 6'6". He's a good post-up player, but he's a garbage man. He's constantly moving at the offensive end of the floor.
In his second year and getting an opportunity to play in critical times, as John Stockton, who sat for 13 minutes, is back in the game. The Lakers, meanwhile, continue to struggle from the free throw line. Only 5 of 11 and trailing by 6.
See, they're posting up Anderson on Eddie Jones. Now the back screen.
Stockton gets it into Ostertag. Here's Morris wide open, will go for the 3 and hit. Chris Morris, who is a little disgruntled, had a chance to start for a while when he came over from the Nets, but he has 10 off the bench. And the Jazz lead by 9, biggest lead either team has had in this game.
Now they caught the Lakers in a double team that time, Dick, and their ball movement tonight and spacing is outstanding.
Now Ostertag bumping Shaq, and that'll be 2 on Ostertag. The Jazz are in the penalty, and the Lakers will shoot. There is Jerry Sloan trying to get to the NBA Finals for the 2nd straight year. Lost to the Bulls in 6 last year, but remember, if the...
Despite that Shaq free throw, Utah extend their lead on the back of their defence. They end the quarter leading 49-43.
So at the end of the first half, it's a 6-point Jazz lead in what has been a classic matchup of youth versus experience, and I think we could all see which team had the old heads on it. Mind you, if the kids decide to start playing, it could be one massive second half. Make sure you join us for it when we return, when I'll also be chatting to one of the stars of the Lakers bench, indeed one of the big stars of the NBA itself, Kobe Bryant. See you soon.
On Thursday night at the Lakers practice session, I caught up with Kobe Bryant as he prepared for Game 3 against Utah.
It does get crucial at this stage, doesn't it? I mean, this is a big game for you.
Yeah, it's definitely a big game for us. I mean, Utah did what they were supposed to do, and that's defend their home court. Now it's our turn to come here and defend our kingdom. So, we get the game tomorrow, then worry about the next one.
Any specifics from those first 2 games that the coach has said to you, right, this has definitely got to change?
I don't think there was one certain specific thing. I think it was an assembly of things from being, the common denominator is being aggressive.
Yeah.
You have to be aggressive offensively and defensively, so I think that's the common denominator.
An interesting thing is obviously seeing Shaq now, and perhaps people are seeing him in a different light as a playmaker as well as a scorer. I suppose the guys have got to make sure that works, haven't they? They've got to make sure they're feeding off of him.
Well, I think it's important for Shaq to really take his game to another level, and that's what he's been doing right now. I think everybody's kind of been sitting and waiting to see what Shaq's going to do. And, as of now, he's done an excellent job responding to that. So I think it's time for Shaq to kind of bust out, show everybody what he can do.
How about you? How you doing? I mean, we talked last year. Of course, it was the first year, and I suppose you're kind of like bright-eyed, and the whole thing was new experience. Now you're a seasoned veteran.
Yeah.
What's the difference?
Just been around the block once.
Yeah.
You know, I'm a second-year veteran now. Sometimes I know what to expect going into a series because I've gone through it once. Now, as more that happens, then I'll just learn even more. But it feels good, man.
You ready? Oh. And you're quite content with your role. I mean, obviously, because, you know, again, it being a squad game at this stage of the season, you're happy with the way that you're being used?
I'm very happy. I'm very happy. I think the key for us as the bench is to go in there and bring a lot of energy, enthusiasm, and a lot of aggressiveness. So, you know, I'm very happy with my role.
And so the game here, a very different one, game 3 from 1 and 2, eh?
Yeah, I predict so.
So Rick Fox along with Eddie Jones, who was 1 for 10 shooting. Here's Shaquille O'Neal with the turnaround, and he hits. O'Neal with 16 points on 7 of 12 from the field and 7 rebounds.
Now that's there. He's been strong, but the rest of these perimeter people have got to step up because they're the ones getting the open shots.
So the same 5 that started the lineup for both teams in there now. Stockton and Hornacek with Malone, Foster, and Bryant Russell. 4 on the shot clock, and they bring out Shaq to beat Foster. The turnaround, and they got it off in time. I don't know how Karl Malone did it. Only his 3rd basket of the game.
Dick, he read that quickly, and when he caught that ball, it was going from 3 to 2 seconds.
He and Michael Jordan, the only unanimous first-team NBA picks as the all-NBA teams were announced this week. Eddie Jones missing a runner, and here is John Stockton. Lakers back defensively, but here is Foster looking for a space. Plenty of time on the clock for the Jazz. Very efficient team tonight. And there is the screen and roll run to perfection. Karl Malone.
He slipped the screen that time, and he caught the defense. No one rotated. A beautiful set play.
And this quiets the crowd even more, so this home court advantage is dwindling in a hurry, and a foul is committed.
Yeah, Russell just fought through that screen.
And that's 4 on Bryant Russell.
Now watch as Karl comes over to set the screen, and he slips the screen as Shaq said. But, you know, see, when you do that, you're relying on your point guard that he can thread a needle and make the pass.
And one of the great bench performers for the Utah Jazz has come in the game early here in the 3rd. Chris Morris, who had 10 points on 3 for 7 shooting.
Not bad. 10 in game 1, 5 in game 2 when they needed it, 10 again tonight in the first half.
He pointed out at halftime the bench, the big story for the Jazz. And Shaq is fouled by Foster, who is complaining.
Yeah, well, he's upset because he thought that he had his hands up. But Bob Delaney is claiming that he put his hands in his back first, and then he put his hands up. So they're not going to allow you to put the hand. Put the forearm. You're stronger with the forearm anyway.
3 fouls on Foster, but that's not a big issue with Carr and Ostertag also there to defend.
Center by committee.
And there is Jones. Eddie Jones, only his 2nd basket of the game. All of the outside shooters have struggled. That's Eddie Jones, Derek Fisher, Nick Van Exel, and Kobe Bryant so far.
They have Eddie Jones on Stockton.
Off the screen, Hornacek, and Horry gets the rebound. So the Lakers trying to make a run here, trailing by 6 points. They were down by as many as 10. Horry, and the offensive foul as Horry runs into Karl Malone.
Give Karl Malone a lot of credit there. He really moved his feet, and he was on the all-defensive team for the 2nd time, 1st team. Now watch, Karl moves his feet pretty good here. And you do not have to give him the avenue. Karl beat him to the spot. And you know, Dick, you made a good point before. He made the All-NBA team again. Only the 10th time first team.
And unanimous with his fellow MVP competitor, Michael Jordan. John Stockton hits a 3. Russell and Morris hit 2 of them in the first half. And now John Stockton, who had 22 in game 2, finding the range. The Jazz dead-eye from 3-point range. Shaq O'Neal with the basket and the foul. As we said, the Jazz 6 of 8 from 3, and they're going to need O'Neal and help in the second half.
Well, Foster's got to, stop the complaining, okay? You know the guy is a quality player. The guy's the second leading scorer in the league. He's going to get the call in that type of a situation. Now, I know you're going to say, I don't have to accept that. He jumped into my chest. That's part of the NBA.
Crowd doesn't like Foster for a lot of reasons. Of course, he had that throat-cutting move, which even Jerry Sloan wasn't pleased with when he used it during the regular season. And Shaquille O'Neal trying to complete the three-point play, but cannot do it. So the woes continue for the Lakers from the stripe, and the score 56-49, Jazz by 7.
Well, now on the foul line, they are 10 for 20. They have missed 10.
And 4 of those misses from Shaquille O'Neal. You know, they'll foul him when they can. Screen and roll. Malone uses his body well.
We pick it up later in the quarter. Utah still lead.
Howard Isley replaces John Stockton at point guard. He played most of the first half at that position for the Jazz. 4 minutes and 15 seconds remaining in the third. Lakers trying to win and make a contest out of this and not fall behind 3-0. Karl Malone misses, and here is a rebound by Jones, feeding Van Exel, who's pushed and will shoot 2.
Since Nick has come in the game, they have picked up their pace. And fortunately for him, he's been able to get out in the middle with the basketball. Now this is going to rebound out. Now as it comes out, watch them take off. Van Exel is really busting, and it's nice to see that he's able to step out here.
The Lakers trailed by 7, Hubie, to follow up the point you were making when Nick Van Exel came into the game. And now he has a chance. He hasn't scored a lot, but he has been a spark to give the Lakers the lead again, and he does, 62-61.
Well, you know, he's been only shooting 24% in games 1 and 2, but he's still going to take the shots. He attempted 5 threes in both games, so you know he's an offensive player, and all he needs to do is get on a little bit of a run.
And the Lakers are setting the tempo, playing their style, as you can see by the fast break points. Isley, and that an offensive foul is called.
They got Karl Malone
yes,
on that screen.
That's 2 on Karl Malone, so he's not in any danger right now. And Corey Blunt has done a good job off the glass and defensively as well. Blunt is in there up front with Shaquille O'Neal and Rick Fox. Jones, who's come alive here, missed the layup, however.
Here you go, 3-on-2.
Isley feeding Hornacek. No look pass to Ostertag, and that was well run by the Jazz.
Look up. You got to get back now because the Lakers take it out of the net and run a sideline.
3:20 remaining, and Shaquille O'Neal spinning his way in, beating Ostertag to the basket. 24 for Shaq. He had 31 in game 2 after a poor performance. Turnovers and only 19 in game 1. So he has risen the level of his performance.
Well, right now, Karl Malone is struggling, Dick. He just cannot seem to get in any kind of a groove.
Here is Isley going around the screen and gets the bounce. Howard Isley with 6 points.
Very quietly tonight. He's making his moves. He's shooting a high percentage, Isley, and he's making good decisions. And
thus the Jazz have a 1-point lead. The Lakers will have 15 seconds to attempt a shot as Antoine Carr comes in replacing Greg Ostertag.
Now, you know, we've seen the Lakers make a nice run, and it's good to see the building is alive, and you can see they're playing with more zip. Now, at the other end, Utah is getting good shot attempts, but they're not putting the ball in the hole.
And Chris Morris with a fine defensive play, and this ball deflected off of Eddie Jones, but Morris created the turnover for the Jazz.
When you gamble in the backcourt, it's a major risk, because if you miss the gamble and they take off, they have numbers up ahead of you going on the fast break.
And a good point about Karl Malone as you look at the shooting in this quarter, already 32 by both teams, but Malone has missed his last 4 shots. Hornacek with a runner, Shaq with a rebound.
Now you can see Hornacek needed 1 extra dribble, Dick, and he had a layup.
And Exel runs into trouble, and there's Jones for 3. Rebound by Morris.
And Morris has done everything here tonight. He scored the points. He's picking up a lot of garbage, and he's rebounding.
Hornacek behind to Karl Malone. So 2 of the last 3 times down, Jeff Hornacek effective with no-look passes that resulted in hoops for the Jazz. Fox misses a 3. And the Jazz leading by 3 points. Morris going in against Fox. Basket counts and a foul.
After that Morris attack, the Lakers were still able to stay in contention. They end the quarter trailing by 3.